Peppa Pig and Officer Steele were at the Ocean Rescue Centre when they could hear Elvis shouting from upstairs. So they turned around and Elvis said, "Look, look! The Ocean Rescue Centre's on fire! Quick!" "How did this happen?" said Peppa. "Oh no!" So they all run away. But Peppa said, "Right, we need some help for this job." So she gets on the phone, but who will she call? "Who are you ringing?" asked Elvis. "I'm going to ring one of our new recruits, Marshal, to help us with this job." But they couldn't go anywhere because Sam was out in the boats, and they couldn't get to the helicopter because the fire was stopping them getting there. But Marshal shows up in quick time, and everyone said, "Quick, Marshal, help us." So Marshal turns the fire engine round and starts putting it out. But Sam managed to come back with Venus, but he didn't get the boats, and Sam jumps on top of Venus and starts putting the fire out. So slowly but surely the fires start to go out, and then Marshal done a great job putting his fire out in super quick time. "Great job," said Officer Steele, but now it was Sam's turn, and Sam was struggling to put one fire out, but eventually he managed to put it out. Just one more fire now on the step, and all will be well at the Ocean Rescue Centre. So once this fire was put out, Marshal said, "Great job, Sam. You really did a good job." So they were all really happy. So finally they can all relax and the fire was out. "But what started the fire?" asked Officer Steele. "I don't know," said Elvis. "I just came upstairs and then the fire was started." So Elvis and Peppa Pig jumps into Marshal's fire engine. "You deserve to relax. Take it for a little drive, and I'm sure you'll feel a lot better when you come back." So Peppa Pig and Elvis head off for a little drive around Pontypandy, leaving Marshal, Officer Steele, and Fireman Sam at the Ocean Rescue Centre. "Great job," said Officer Steele. "I'm proud of you boys. You're really serving Pontypandy well, and you're keeping us all safe." "Don't forget to subscribe," said Marshal. Fireman Sam and Zuma were at the lifeboat station, and they had just finished having a hard day's work. When out of nowhere, they hear a big crash and something hit the lifeboat station. So Sam rushes to the door and goes to look outside, but he can't get outside. There's something stopping him getting outside. So he jumps into Neptune, and Zuma says, "Come on, Sam, let's go." So they head off to drive around the lifeboat station to see what's outside and what's crashed into the boat house. What would it be? Oh no, it's only Pig and George, and he was in his speedboat, so he must have crashed into his lifeboat station with his new speedboat. "Oh no," Zuma said. "Are you guys safe?" "They are now," said Sam. "We are here." So Sam tries to help George and said, "Come on, George, grab on." So George grabs Sam's hand. So Sam pulled him up, and now it was time to help Daddy Pig. So he said, "Come on, Daddy Pig, jump on," as Zuma made sure Daddy Pig didn't drown. So Daddy Pig jumps up really quick onto Neptune. So it was up to Zuma to try to get the speedboat back upright. I wonder how Zuma will do it. "Great job, Sam," said Daddy Pig. "You really saved me and George today." So Zuma tries to get the speedboat back upright and off the lifeboat station, and he just gives it a gentle nudge, and now it was time for Daddy Pig to jump back in. But I think it's safer for George to stay with Sam today. And Daddy Pig said, "I don't know what happened, Sam. I just lost control. Maybe I need to drive a lot slower for a little bit, and then I can drive faster when I know how to drive." But he said, "Thanks, Sam. I'll see you again." So Sam was going to look after George today, and he'd take him back to Peppa Pig's house. But at least Zuma and Sam had saved the day again. Don't forget to subscribe. Mike at the workshop was waiting for Postman Pat, and he could see Postman Pat coming, but something wasn't right. It looks like Postman Pat's van is on fire. Oh no, said Mike. Look, Pat, quick, jump out. And Pat couldn't believe what he was seeing, so he gets on the phone quickly and he phones Marshal. And he said, Marshal, quick. Oh no, Marshal said. This is bad. This is real big fire. But luckily, Marshal brought the right fire engine for the job. And he said, look, I can use my hose on the back to put it out. Great job, Marshal, said Pat. You've got you so fast. So Marshal starts to put the fire out. Slowly but surely, the fire goes out, one by one. And eventually, he can move to the back. Once the back's out, they can all relax. So Marshal jumps on top of the van to check what it was. But he couldn't work out what caused the fire. It might have been the sun. He said it's a really warm day, so maybe the sun did it. But we'll never know. But Pat and Mike thanked Marshal. He said, Marshal to the rescue again. You're turning out to be one of the best firefighters in the world, Marshal. Great job. We really appreciate you coming over and helping us. But Marshal had to shoot off. He said, right, I gotta get back to Pontypandy to see Sam. So you guys, make sure you're safe and don't cause any more fires. So Marshal headed off back to the fire station and he said, don't forget to subscribe. Chase was looking after the mechanic's garage for the mechanic, and there were some special guests coming round. Rubble was one of them, but who else was coming round? And Rubble said, hey Chase, how are you? And Chase is just fine. So who would be next? It's only Rocky in his garbage truck. Hey Rocky, shouted Chase. So where's Marshal? Everyone asked. I don't know, he must be running late. Here I am, guys. Sorry, I just had to fill up the fire engine tank full of water, just in case I get caught out. So everyone was going to have a quick service today, but who would be first? They're all going to have their oil changed. So Rocky was first on. And once everything was done, Rocky said, wow, I feel so much better, Chase, thanks. Rubble, you better get on there. It's just so much better. So Rubble jumps on and Chase gets to work. And Chase used to be a qualified mechanic back in the day, he said. And that's why he's doing it. And Rubble said, wow, Marshal, you're in for a treat. You'll feel so much fresher. Because when you own, whether it be a tractor, garbage truck or a fire engine, they all need to be serviced every year to make them run as smooth as possible. And Marshal said, thanks Chase, you did a great job. So where was everyone off? When Marshal said, I'm heading past the police station, I'm on a lift. So Chase jumped on. And everyone said, thanks Chase for sorting out servicing out. It's okay guys. Rubble was working on the pontypandy fire station, Chase. And he was fixing one of the tiles that's come loose, which created a leak inside. So everyone had gone on their dinner break when Rubble fell and he got stuck on the roof, so he shouted for help. So Marshal came flying out of the pontypandy fire station and he said, what's the matter? And he couldn't believe that Rubble was stuck on top of the roof. So he phones for help and he phones Chase to make sure everything's going to be okay. So Chase comes round and says, oh no, Rubble, what are you doing up there? And Rubble said, help guys, quick, I'm only holding on by one paw. So Chase climbs up and he says, try to jump down. But Rubble couldn't jump down. Rubble was too scared. So Marshal went off and he said, right, I'm going to have to get the helicopter for this. So Marshal comes in the pontypandy helicopter and he says, come on Rubble, you'll have to grab on. But Rubble was really, really scared. And he said, it'll be okay. Just hold on with your two paws onto my yellow bar at the bottom. Okay, I'll do it, said Rubble. So Marshal flew over for Rubble to grab on. So once Rubble had grabbed on, he said, come on, let's go. so he had to place him down. But Rubble was really scared. But he said, "Quick, go down." But Marshal had to go down slowly. He couldn't just drop Rubble. So finally he gets down and Rubble jumps off. "Whew, that was a close call," said Chase as Marshal landed. And Chase and Marshal were so happy that they saved one of their best friends. And Rubble was really happy that Chase and Marshal was there to save the day. "So this is a case of Paw Patrol to the rescue," said Chase. And Marshal and Chase saved their best friend. Just been on the phone. "Don't forget to subscribe, Paw Patrol friends," said Marshal. And he said, "Come over, guys. We're going to have a sleepover." So Marshal rushed over. And couldn't believe it. He loves having a sleepover. And then Rubble comes over. But who will be next? "Who else is coming?" asked Marshal. And Chase said, "You'll see now." So they waited patiently for everyone to turn up. But who would be next? Said Marshal. Would it be Rocky? No, it's Zuma. Of course, Zuma loves a sleepover as well. But doesn't everyone? So I wonder who's going to be next. It's Rocky! And Rocky comes flying in. And he said, "Hey guys, I can't wait to have a little sleepover with you all. I'm so tired." And it was getting quite late in the day. And the final Paw Patrol Ryder turned up. And said, "Hey guys, what a great idea it was to have a sleepover." Whose idea was that? It was Chase's idea, of course. So let's go inside. So they all went inside Chase's police station. And they said, "Wow, it's really cool in here, Chase. You get to work in such a cool environment. So where's all the blankets?" asked Marshal. And Ryder said, "I'll go and get them now, Marshal, 'cause I love the blankets." So Ryder heads off to get all of the blankets so everyone can be warm tonight. And everyone said, "Wow, look what Ryder's got, guys. It looks like he can't see where he's going." Oh no, he definitely can't see where he's going. He's full of play-doh blankets. So let's put the blankets on, everyone, so everyone's nice and toasty. So eventually it was time for everyone to wake up. And everyone had a great sleep, but Chase was the first one up and started taking his play-doh blanket off. And he said, "Wake up, guys. Everyone's so lazy. I know it's Sunday, but there's no need to have a good lay-in like that. We've all got stuff to get done today." So Ryder and Rocky were the next two up, and they both started taking off their play-doh blankets. "That's much better," said Rocky. "I can finally breathe now." So Zuma was next, and Marshal. But there's always one lazy one in the bunch, which is Rubble. And everyone shouted, "Rubble, wake up!" And Rubble just didn't want to take his blanket off. But eventually he came round to the idea. So everyone had a great sleepover today. "We should do this more often," said Rubble. "Definitely," said Marshal. "I love spending time with you guys. It's one of the best nights sleep I've had for a while, and spending it with my friends is the best time ever." So everyone had a great sleepover, and now it's back to work and all. Don't forget to subscribe. Peppa Pig and Rubble had come across a cool slide, and Peppa said, "Stop, Rubble." So Rubble stopped, and he said, "Look at this, let's get out." So Rubble and Peppa jumps out and said, "Wow, this looks so cool." So they waited for their friends to meet them. But who would turn up? Of course, Chase would turn up. And Chase said, "Hey guys, this place looks just too cool. Are we going to go on it?" "Definitely. But where's Marshall?" he asked. "Here I am," said Marshall. "Wow, that's much bigger than I thought it was going to be. It looks like lots of fun. So who's going to go first?" So Marshall said, "Come on, Chase, me and you'll go first." So Marshall and Chase headed up to the top of the tower. But I wonder who was going to go down the slide first. Would it be Chase or would it be Marshall? "I wonder," said Peppa. "It's Marshall, look. Whee! Wow! Lots of fun," Marshall said. "Come on, Chase." Oh, and Chase came down so fast he hit Marshall. But he said, "Are you okay, Marshall?" And Marshall was just fine. And he was laughing about it. So Marshall and Chase jumps into the vans. And they waited for Peppa to come down. Wow! That was so fast, Peppa. So what's Rubble doing? He should be coming down now. But Rubble's got stuck. Oh no! And Rubble's backpack got stuck. So with a helping hand, he managed to get loose. And he hit Peppa on the way down. "Are you okay, Peppa?" "I'm just fine." So they went on the helter-skelter. And round they went. Rubble and Chase having lots of fun. And they were saying, "Whee! This is loads of fun." So it was time to get off. "It's time to go now," said Chase. "Really?" said Peppa. And Marshall and Rubble couldn't believe it was time to go. "We've only been here 2 minutes."
At the Paw Patrol police
"I know,
station.
but we have to go home. It's getting
And
dark
Chase
soon."
has decided to
So
ask
everyone
some of his friends to
had a
come
really great
round
time on the
Rubble
slide
and Marshall
helter-skelter.
for a little bit of
Subscribe, said
tea
Peppa.
time dinner. So Rubble didn't waste no time to get round to Chase. And he said, "Hey Chase, I'm so hungry. I've been working like a dog all day." And Chase said, "You are a dog, Rubble. Don't be silly." "You're right." "So where's Marshall?" he asked. "He should be here now." "Oh, there he is now," said Rubble. So in came Marshall. And Marshall couldn't believe the food that was available from Chase. And he said, "Hey guys, the food smells lovely. I've been really hungry all morning." So Chase and Marshall both jumps up on the table to start eating. But Rubble said, "Guys, the table's too tall for me. I can't get up there. What am I going to do?" He said, "I've got a cool idea." So Rubble jumps into the bucket on the front of the truck, which allows him to be able to eat at the dinner table. The food is so good," said Marshall. "You made really nice food this time, Chase. And I really like the chicken. Rubble really likes the crisps. You should always leave the crisps until after dinner," said Chase. So once everyone had food, they were all full. And they said, "That was loads of food, Chase. Thanks again. We should definitely eat food more often together. We have to head off now." So Marshall and Chase and Rubble all have to get back to work. So Rubble heads back to the construction site. And Marshall has to head back to the fire station. "Don't forget to subscribe, guys," said Marshall.